feathered friends, welcome to a new edition of You Don't Say, Conversations with the Loquacious Mr. Dwayne,
That would be me.
Senator Dwayne.
Thank you.
I am the overwrought and overwhelmed Professor Blake.
And oversexed.
And oversexed. We are brought to you by a tripartite partnership between Tom Dwayne Strategies, the Ghost of the Future, and P&T Knitwear on the gorgeous but steamy Lower East Side.
But we will have different advertisers probably starting next podcast because we're in great demand now.
We are in great demand. We have been discussing from the beginning our partnership doing a book together.
Yes.
And recently, the whole world has gone to seed.
It's not really that recently. It's kind of been downhill for,
Yeah, but with increasing urgency.
Like the war is pretty bad.
The war is pretty bad. The snatching of foreign leaders, the rounding up of people with ICE.
Why doesn't that happen to our leader?
Yeah, ideally, it should. So we've had to kind of rethink, and you guys, some of you have heard this live in real time. Over the past couple of months, we've rethought what the world really needs. And it's not so much a book about communication anymore. It's a book about nothing less than saving the world.
Action. We need action.
We need proactive action. We need people to feel less hopeless, less overwhelmed, and to know the resources for what to do.
Yes.
How to feel better, what to do, how to serve.
Well, you'll feel better if you do something to try to help things from really going any further downhill.
So we're rebranding with this idea that you had about a three-part prescription of prep, which means learning and educating and knowing the real situation.
Yes.
Help, which is service.
Yes.
And helping yourself first and proactively helping your community and finding your purpose. And then...
Although we might put that first. Maybe.
And then hope as not a strategy.
Nope.
But as a necessary tool to keep going.
You got to have hope.
Right.
You get up every morning with hope.
So
otherwise, you just make up your mind. I'm going to get up thinking that today I can make things a little bit better.
We could start with hope today, even though we're both feeling the situation is pretty urgent. You always tend toward hope. And so we've got the hope of Viktor Orban getting trounced.
Yes.
And apparently going away on his own. Most repressive regime in Europe since the Nazis. Super anti-gay.
Horrendous.
And appears to be just going away quietly in a democratic election.
I know it's not like Brazil where they didn't want to, Yes, I guess he just went away. But he has destroyed the country. They're going to have to rewrite the whole constitution and everything.
And it is a conservative who's in charge now, but a
normal conservative.
A normal conservative who's into civil rights and
rule of law
and reason. And
I mean, I can live with like regular Republicans. I can work with them. They can work with me. But Orban, Trump, those terrible. Can't do anything with them.
No.
But the feeling in the country was that he was going to lose, and so there was a tremendous outpouring of people to vote for the other guy. And that's what they've never had such a huge celebration. It was really great to watch.
Yeah, it was massive. And
because they had hope.
To be fair, the gays still put on their pride parade, and there was
in defiance.
And defiance is a great word. It didn't come up at our meeting today, but it's a word that Neil, who's helping edit the book, and I've been talking about a lot. It's a great word with great history.
Yes.
And great roots.
Yes.
And we're talking about defying authoritarianism, defying fascism, the way that
autocracy,
all those terrible things that we've seen happen in the world, defying through the kinds of things that ACT UP used to do.
Yes.
New kinds of radical action.
Yes.
That people can take. And there's a place, and this can make you feel more hopeful. There's a place for everybody in this, whatever your fears, whatever your concerns are,
yes,
whatever your vulnerabilities are. There's a place for every single human if you can think carefully about, and this is part of the prep, where you are in the world, how you would triage what you from the cavalcade of catastrophes.
Although you could be like me and just like not give it much thought, just go for it.
Go
There's that type of person too, which is my kind of person.
go for the most important thing of the day.
Just, yeah.
Yeah. And or just think about what's more important to you, because no one person can do all of it.
No.
And so we feel overwhelmed, and they depend on the overwhelm. I saw you writing about this in your blog.
Oh my God! Because the Secretary of State will say one thing. That hideous Vice President, well, the Secretary, he's hideous too. The Vice President he'll say something else. Trump will say like 3 different things in the same day on the same stupid social platform, whatever it's called, Truth Social. Oh my God!
Yeah,
save us, save us.
You did a 2-part thing about confusion is the point.
Yes,
and there's a couple of ways of looking at it. I think part of it is incompetence, but part of it is that it's working for them because it is confusing and it leaves us just shocked and awed.
It's shell shock.
Yeah, and we don't know what's going on. We don't know who's telling the truth.
Right.
We don't know what picture is real.
What was the reason for the war? There's like we're up to 6 reasons now.
Yeah, and all of them, by the way, put us back to worse than we were in 2015.
All big losers.
Yeah, big losers.
And we have some ideas about what people can do, but we will also many people will think of their own things to do, and that's what's so great about this. You can be creative.
That's the idea. The idea is with this prescription of prep, help, and hope, you can feel more proactive. You can feel like you're doing more in the world. Your efficacy is greater, and you're forgiving yourself for what you can't do. The other reason for hope, in my mind, is Tellerico in Texas.
Yes.
He's just raised more money than in the history of anybody in the first quarter.
It could be a blue.
It really could. There. It could be different than Beto O'Rourke, who at the end made some mistake.
Oh my God! Please.
Maybe he's learned from that, and he could be new and different.
Oh yes, Tellerico. Beto is
he's doubled what the previous record was.
And he doesn't have a particularly strong candidate. He's running against a very damaged opponent.
In a super red state. So there's
it's not that super red, but it's the Republicans did something smart. They turned a lot of the border Latino people red, but they are easily lured back into blue, and that's part of they got to do that because if every blue person voted, our team would win. It's just there's all kinds of things that block them from doing it, including making a living, staying alive, including being afraid of being picked up, and treated like they're
rapists and murderers.
Yes. So, but if they all voted, there are more of us than there are of them.
This, of course, assumes working within the system and the system working. It does not self-execute. We've learned that recently. So I think we need to hope that the midterms work, but I'm preparing for there to be no midterms.
Yeah, well, that is Trump's idea. He's working his way towards that.
And everything's pretty clearly laid out in that direction. Yeah. He can easily invent, because he just makes up the law as he goes. And all of the sycophants just agree.
Lets him do whatever he wants. Yeah.
Although recently, again, some reasons for hope where there's a couple of...
protect slightly the Constitution in there. But we have a war that Congress didn't declare.
We've always had the goal of helping people feel more effective, better about the world, but not to the point where you become a Pollyanna and you're just hiding burying your head in the sand, which is the way Holocausts happen and the way this slow burn happens, where every day you get normalized worse and worse crimes against humanity. And it's happened before. There's blueprints for it. It's how empires die.
Yes.
But in the meantime, people suffer. It's happened here in New York 100 years ago. It happened in Berlin.
I mean, there's a playbook, and they follow it.
There's a playbook. I mean,
it's rumored that Trump has Mein Kampf next to him in the bed, in the bed table.
You know that Marco Rubio was born here to immigrant parents?
Yes. Yes.
Funny old world.
And by the way, but treated special Cubans at the time.
Hmm.
As long as their feet touched the sand, they were admitted, no questions asked. As a so, yeah, Marco Rubio. He can't. I mean, he can't wait for Trump to go into Cuba. But Trump couldn't even name that. Doesn't even know the name of. He probably thinks Fidel Castro is still, leading Cuba.
Turkey just sent a hydroelectric ship to help with their energy
Good for them. I
issues.
mean, it's inhuman to do these things. It's always the people that suffer. It's not the leadership that suffers. It's the people who suffer. Now, I know some people are going down there on a trip and they're begging for like AIDS meds and birth control stuff and even things like aspirin and Band Aids because we have just choked them off. Except for the Trump let a Russian oil tanker go and drop off some oil. Even though we're, Russia's like making out like a bandit during
Yeah.
this whole thing. And I think, Putin, he's another one.
Yeah.
Oh, let me count the dictators. But Viktor Orban is toast. Toast. And his party didn't do very well either, so that's good.
No.
So there's hope.
There's hope, but hope's not a strategy and hope's not a plan.
No.
It is a necessary tool to keep
Yes.
us going.
It's a state of mind. It's good
Yeah.
to kind of keep in the back of your mind.
For me, at least, it's what can I do today to make the world a better place? And maybe it's small. Maybe it's smiling at a kid on the subway, or maybe it's writing a book.
Or if someone trips going up the subway steps, I'm not saying who I was, and someone helps them.
Maybe.
Because you don't want to get rid of all the leftists. I'm valuable that way.
It's hard though, but you've gotten me to think about hope in a different way since you prescribed it to me.
Listen, where I live, everybody lives with hope, and they live to be 100 years old. Like on the elevator, there's always like a flyer. So and so just passed away at the age of 97. I mean, literally everybody, because they live, to make for a better world, and that's keeps you going.
Or you have some other thing that keeps you going, like karma or consciousness
I
or
think community. I
community.
think lonely people have a harder time living longer.
faith
Faith.
in something bigger than you,
Yes.
which is
hearing a good drosh every once in a while.
traditionally a conservative value. But I think that we have to decide what that thing is. For me, it's always the blessing of consciousness. If I get super depressed, I'm like, you feel super depressed because you have a piece of meat in your skull that provides you with feeling. How amazing is that?
And you know what else you have?
The greatest gift you could.
You get to have sex. I never have sex. No sex in my life. That would be, I'm hoping for sex. Can I do that at the same time? Yes. I mean, I'm not that, actually, it's the foreplay. I'm hoping for foreplay. I'd be fine with foreplay. But you're married. And
Yeah.
that makes you hopeful, right? I mean, when you see Angel, you brighten up.
Are you on apps, Tom?
I'm on, yes, but I'm not very good at, I'm paying for them and not really looking at them. I should probably look at them more often.
Because you could have sex like tomorrow.
Yeah, but I used to do that. I think I want to have nobody wants to go on a date. It's a big problem. I want to get to know someone.
Well, you at least have the pretend date.
I know, but
you ask to get a drink and then you're on a date.
Because it makes me think of sex as like an Olympic sport, and I have to show how good I am at it. It's not very healthy for me to not have feelings other than just intensity instead of no intimacy at all. That's an issue for me. I mean, I have a past, Sam.
I know.
We could really I have a past.
But you could specify what you're into, and you could just write intimacy and dating.
Oh. Yeah, my favorite is people that say relationships. I think I don't think they're all telling the truth.
I was.
They're not.
Hinge is relationships, right?
It's supposed to be.
I met Angel on Grindr.
I know.
And we know plenty of people.
I made a snide remark about Grindr, and then they said, that's how we met.
It's pretty amazing.
Well, even the one that heterosexuals, what's theirs? The Grinder.
Tinder.
Tinder has a gay section now too.
All apps are.
Because I went
They're
on
gay.
that for a minute, and I was very popular because I was new.
You could try Field. It's the
Field?
kinky one.
Oh, Field, really? There's
Yeah.
also one that's like right now, like you go on it and it's to have sex with
Sniffies.
something. Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Snuffies.
We should not be telling people this. Children, put your children cover their ears. We should have
feel like
warned
gay-
people.
I feel like mostly gay people.
Sniffies, but what's the other one? I'll get it. You'll write it down.
I
for
don't
me,
feel
baby.
like-
Sniffies.
I don't
Field.
feel like everybody lies.
Look how hopeful I am.
I think that
No, everybody doesn't lie. That's true.
not everybody lies. There's no reason to lie.
No, but you know
Yeah.
my type, unavailable. I should put that in as my profile.
Right.
Unavailable for unavailable.
Prefer to be ignored.
Please don't open up to me. No emotions allowed. Withhold any feelings. Oh,
I do think that intimacy is a good reason to be hopeful because people did that in the Holocaust. People did that. You
Yeah.
can do that in a war. You can do that while oppressed.
it's very helpful to have a partner in oppression. I mean, it's a funny way to say it, but it's, you're in it together. It's
Yeah.
easier to be hope. It is, it's not, I don't want to say it's easier, but it is one of the ways that you can be hopeful when you're hopeful on behalf of someone else in addition to yourself.
Hmm.
Because you have to be hopeful about Angel.
I am, but I'm also worried about Angel, as you know.
Yes.
So
That's healthy though too. You're more worried about him, I think, than he's worried about himself, which is interesting.
well, he's always lived this way. I just had hoped for a different future for him.
As an aside, Angel, I hope you're listening or not. The picture of you and your brother as altar boys, your gay brother, is the most adorable picture I have ever seen. It's because Angel recently played a priest in a play, and his mother sent a picture of the two of them as altar boys. It was adorable, absolutely adorable.
Early 90s Mexico. Well,
So
you got your wish. We talked about sex.
yeah, I was definitely going to put it in, but in the realm of hope, though, I worked it in.
Yeah.
What else are you hopeful about?
I'm hopeful that our book can do something for people like me,
Yes, I hope that it makes people feel like they can actually make a difference at any level,
Yeah.
and they can be creative about it. And it's a good way to find community. I mean, there's so many reasons why it's good to become a little bit active and I'm saying purposely said a little bit active. I mean, a lot active would be nice too, but a little bit goes a long way.
And I think that we need to redefine what progressive means.
Maybe at demonstrations they should have a place for singles, looking for other singles that are demonstrating. What an idea!
Kind of a good idea.
Yes, my idea.
Yeah, you should do it.
Can I get a patent on that?
Protest partners.
Protest partners.
I think we need to
Wait, I have to put that in my profile. Love demonstrations. Must love demonstrations. So, okay.
Kinda.
I'll stop. Go ahead. Go
we
ahead.
need to redefine what progressive means. And I think that we need to consider new kinds of radical action.
Yes.
The likes, like when the first person who thought of throwing red paint on a fur coat.
Yes.
Or the first people who thought about blocking traffic by laying down and playing dead.
Well, I did block the Holland Tunnel after an unfortunate abortion decision on Memorial Day weekend. But it got a response. I think that's one of my favorite arrests. That and Days of Desperation when we took over Grand Central Station. I mean, there's all kinds of things we can do. Now, those are old-time act up things. But there's.
What about violence?
I'm a nonviolent kind of guy.
I'm all for it.
See, this is
How else do we get a fucking country?
I can't.
How did we get our country, people?
I'm a pacifist.
We would not have a country.
I mean, I think you have to fight. Like, I'm glad we fought the Nazis, but I think you have to pick and choose your fights.
Well, are we not in it?
Well, they're not.
They're rounding people up. They're buying up warehouses.
Although they're kind of losing, they were doing better. Now they're doing less well because small communities are coming
Exactly.
together to stop it.
Yeah.
So I hate that people are locked up. However, I like that they have been unable to pull it off.
And there's good arguments for that whole 3.5% of people acting non-violently. But I've always been more of a Malcolm X guy than a
Well,
Martin
he
Luther King
changed.
guy.
You know, they became close. So same thing could happen to us. I'm Malcolm. No.
I mean, I think there's just a
Yes.
point at which,
No. Yes.
like, if
You're
they
Martin. I'm Malcolm.
if they would come for Angel, I would kill or die for that.
I would die for it.
So there you go. So there is a point where
Right outside the studio one time, I saw in New York, they pick up people one at a time, and they were picking someone up. I mean, it was too late; they already had him. But I took pictures and everything and sent it into the central headquarters of. But they changed the license plates. But I was really shocked to see it. It's hard. It's really horrible, absolutely horrible. All the stuff you saw in Minneapolis.
I think we need to talk about this violence thing. I understand that we're not going to promote. It's not a good first step, but a fascist army of thugs
You can fight back
is
against
rounding
violence.
up your what?
Yes.
What are you going to do? Write a letter?
No, but I don't think that violence is going to stop that because because you don't know when it's going to happen that you can fight back against it. They're smart like that.
Oh, that's why guerrilla warfare works so well.
Yeah. Well, I love it when they find out the hotels that they're in.
Yeah.
No sleep for them.
No sleep for them. And those little radical acts of defiance, like not giving them meals or a place to pee.
Yep.
I love that.
Love that.
Yeah.
Love that.
I do love that.
So hope.
Action cures fear. I don't think that hope cures fear. I think that action cures fear.
I had to give up fear in the household I grew up in and go directly to anger.
I had to go directly to dissociation.
Well, no disassociating, please, ladies and gentlemen, and cis ladies and cis gentlemen and non-cis and non.
It's the logical, psychological response to extreme terror.
I remember a lot of my childhood. Mm-hmm. I've forgotten a lot of it.
Yeah.
It's a way to, protection.
But it also is triggered by things like dictators and autocrats and abusers. Look at how this guy's abused us as a country.
I know.
We know what it's like to be in an abusive relationship.
Yeah.
We're always on our toes. He's fucking everything up. We feel unsafe. We feel judged. We feel like we don't know what guy we're going to wake up to today.
I understand those feelings, but you know what I feel? I say it again. It's the media is owned by the fucking capitalists and they cover him. If Biden had said anything like he says, they would say that there was something terribly wrong with him. Mm-hmm. But there was nothing wrong with him. He was older. He's had a bad day, a bad night. That happens. But he wasn't an evil person. He was a good guy.
Yeah.
And Trump is an evil, horrible person. And the press never follows up with a question when he said, so many times he says something absolutely absurd. We're winning the war. How are we winning the war? What does a win look like? Are you kidding? And then we've destroyed all their nuclear weapons. We're going to go in and get all the nuclear. I mean, it's just crazy talk. And the media does not push back against him. They should all be saying, members of the cabinet, you got to do that thing where he's declared insane and get him out because he is just dangerous.
25th Amendment.
That finger on the button is too close.
Yeah.
And one of his people brought up Iran and using nuclear weapons, they aren't even close to having a nuclear weapon. So why would you terrify people with that?
You were asking me this morning about, young people. Are young people
yes.
going to be a demographic for this book? My thought, we can ask Sam as a
Yes.
representative of young humans on Earth.
Young.
Representing all youth in America.
My feeling is that young people are a lot more radical than what all this shit that we're talking about is bullshit.
They were there for Black
Yeah.
Lives Matter, but I don't see as many young people with things like No Kings.
Because they've given up on the system that's working within the system.
Is
Like,
that
what's
true?
the point of it?
Did you do
Like,
Black Lives Matter, but not so? See, did you give up? How can we get you back?
if we were to plan an insurrection, you'd be on board with that, right?
Yes.
Yes.
There you go.
But a nonviolent insurrection, not like where they killed people.
Well,
No.
I mean, it depends who is organizing this.
You have
and,
to
like,
defend
what-
yourself. Listen, the Warsaw Ghetto, like that was violence that was.
Yeah,
You
I
know,
mean, I think young people are radical in theory. Do I think they're actually practicing? Not so much, because we haven't seen radical acts of protest.
yes, there was no.
But I
ACT UP.
think they.
You weren't alive for ACT UP, right?
No, but I think
Yeah.
that they welcome more radical theories. They talk about them. Do they put them in action? No, not really, because I think they still need leaders.
So how do you,
You
get?
know?
But I'm afraid that all of the things that they're thinking gets put into social media and not into actual physical action.
I think that's true. I think that's true for most things right
So
now.
how do we dig that out? Like you can do both.
It takes a charismatic leader, unfortunately. Like, it takes like a Mom Donnie, but like super, super left Mom Donnie. You know, it like takes someone to rally around. I really think like Trump is someone you rally around.
Right.
If you are rallying around someone like
He has charisma, but I do not see it. He's disgusting to me. I mean, apparently he does. But people with charisma, they rise to that. Like they don't, no one's born charismatic.
well,
It's a skill that gets developed over time, I think.
But we don't have that person on our side.
Mom
yes.
Donnie. And even
But he's still, there's so many things he's like not going to be able to do.
Right.
There's so many like
there's some
people
things
that
that
are
I've
checking.
already disagree with a couple of things.
He's
Yeah.
he's working in the system, and I think that young people, my just assumption is that they've just given up on that.
Yes.
Yeah, it's just.
But
never-
you can be outside the system and inside at the same time. I did that for years and years and years. And the good thing about, coming from the outside, I'd say either you talk to me or then you have to deal with all of them.
But the fact is, over the past 20 years, every sacred cow has been tipped over.
Oh,
Okay, so gender is not even a thing anymore. Things that we grew up with as very securely binaries aren't so anymore.
that's a good thing.
Okay?
Right.
That's a good thing.
So think about politics like
So
that.
think about politics like that. Think about capitalism like that. Why are so many systems still in place that are so inequitable? It's because the people that are getting served by it and are privileged by it are very comfortable in their comfort.
And I'm complaining about the mainstream media, which young people aren't watching anyway. They're not watching, the NBC News, nightly news, or anything like that. That's not where they get their news. They're not even getting it from the what was thrown out of NBC, what is now called MS Now, and they may believe they were like
No,
disembodied from the network.
I think it's mostly, yeah, exactly what Sam said is what I'm talking about. Like, why isn't everything up in the air now? Like imperialism, two-party system.
So, well, listen, if
Like-
if I went out and tried to, do the kind of organizing I did when I was organizing, would I be able to organize young people or teach them how to organize for themselves? Would they listen to me?
I think so. I think if you, I'm not sure how to reach it at how to
Well,
reach them.
my
exactly.
students actually, they would have followed me if I said,
Yeah.
to do something.
Well, to be honest, you got to go to Brooklyn.
Yeah.
But I have an affordable apartment, and I'm fighting for more affordable
All I'm
apartments.
saying
to be
is, like,
created.
if you want the really radical people to come out, you got to go to where the broke people are.
Yes.
And you know that's true.
The other boroughs. Brooklyn is really big.
That's
Brooklyn
awesome.
is the...
Brooklyn is the second wealthiest borough, I'm assuming.
Well, I'm just not gonna-
now.
Yeah.
There's a lot of rent stabilization going on.
What is
there.
the reason why there are no young, radical, like Black Panther type people that are in their 20s now?
Jasmine Crockett.
We have a couple of people working in the system, like people like David Hogg and people like Greta Thunberg, and like there are some people who are
Greta's in and out.
like, where are the Black Panthers?
I think they're a little bit more low key.
Well, no, but there's.
What are they waiting for?
I mean,
I know.
it's not going to be the NAACP is not going to take on that mantle. You know what I mean?
It's not going to be the
you should send in your
ACLU.
dues.
Like,
you have to be a member of it. But
where are these radicals that know the system's fucked up?
Maybe everyone's just having the same reaction where they're like, "Oh, it's bound to happen. People are bound to do it." So everyone's just kind of sitting around waiting for someone else to do it without actually taking their initiative. Like bystander effect of the end of America.
We have a few people like Luigi Mangione,
Yeah.
who some people consider a hero.
He is.
The guy who just threw the thing at Sam Altman.
Yeah.
But
The guy who killed Charlie Kirk.
the guy who killed Charlie Kirk.
I think
it is escalating if you think about it.
Yeah.
Like things are escalating. I don't think it's gonna.
But there's no movement. There's no
there is not.
radical
no.
movement.
These are individuals acting on their own.
And we need that. I think we need that movement, and it needs to be the new
'Cause
generation.
The other side has that kind of thing going on.
The other thing
To be
absolutely has
honest,
that.
Who has time or money?
I was going to say, by the other thing.
Like everyone's
Black Lives
worked
Matter.
too
They're
hard.
young people because everything was closed down and no one could work. No one could go to their jobs
Like-
at Starbucks.
Like I
or
was
wherever.
saying, I can't go to protests because they're always on Saturdays. I'm working.
Yeah, that's
But like, what would it take to decide that the job is?
Right, that's right.
what's the one
How-
despicable
how-
thing that you would take a day off, take one of your vacation days to do a
Despicable.
like the one.
What would it take?
Well, because there's going to be there's no kings. There's always a theme.
No Kings is
right?
like whatever.
That's a good theme for you.
No, it's not.
Oh,
I find that one to be pointless a little bit.
what's a theme that would attract you?
Hey, we're all gonna surprise this really terrible person when they're speaking and be mad at them.
I'd rather kidnap them than shoot them if that's okay with all
That's
of
what
you.
I'm saying.
But I would think I'm surprised you didn't immediately say abortion as like a big issue.
Oh, sure.
But we live in a state where abortion is protected, right?
Yeah.
For now, that's the
For now.
thing.
For the record, I never thought that was a great thing to rest your hat on.
Abortion?
Yeah. I mean, I get it. I support it. But
No, I think
yeah,
Well, I grew. It was the
What about
radical feminists that taught me a lot of stuff. And by the way, and the Black Panther Party and the Young Lords, I read all of their stuff in the gay liberation movement. They are like my greatest, influencers on how I see how to change things. But I don't know whether. Do you know who the Young Lords are? No.
No.
They were the Hispanic
yeah. Neil was talking about them today.
Black Panthers.
I think that maybe the gender queer people who are fucking with.
Oh, I love that. He, him, his, or they, them. I love that.
Yeah,
'cause
that
it
might
really-
that might be the most radical thing that's happening, and
It's a start.
it's a start to let's just fuck with your system and live the way we want to live.
Mm-hmm.
Creatively.
Creatively,
As we feel we should. Yeah.
the way that drag queens used to.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
that's just like normal for people my age now.
It's
you
very-
know?
Well,
That's
also
so-
trying
Well,
out
here-
sexuality stuff.
No, I mean, like I
Like
grew
in-
up in Michigan, and being gay was pretty normal.
And kids experimented, right? It didn't gross them out to
I
have
think-
sex with someone of the same
think-
sex if they were of not.
No, I mean it wasn't compared to now. I bet it's like way cooler. But like when I was 15, like 10-ish years ago, There wasn't a bunch of out people, but there were, and like they weren't like bullied
Well, like,
terribly.
would you go down the hall and say, like, well, I kissed a girl. What's the big deal?
No, I wouldn't do that. Not in
Do you think people would do that
high
now?
school. Yes.
But like even in like Topeka,
Oh, in Topeka they would.
Depends. I do think queerness is less, like transness is the new thing.
Oh yeah.
that people are weirded out
but see,
about.
that's the window. That's the door in, and there's even fucking gay white men who are
Yeah,
want to throw the
exactly.
trans people overboard. That makes me
and
absolutely.
the
They will
only
not
reason
survive after
it's,
the
like-
revolution. We're going to send them to re-education camps.
The only reason it's like more in the conversations, because trans people have been around forever, is because gay people are a little bit more accepted. So there's something you got to be angry about something.
Yeah.
And there are more trans people now. So it's like,
Which is-
now that this is happening in, greater numbers, I'm aware now, I'm suddenly uncomfortable by it. Like it's it's the newest thing.
They are
Yeah.
trying to get at the queers through the trans.
Exactly.
And it's also, by the way, they care more about men transitioning to women than they do about women transitioning to men, because it's better to be a man. There's some sexism
Absolutely.
involved in it.
100%.
Which
Yeah.
is, so a lot of the anti-trans stuff, similar to anti-gay, it's because they want you to be masculine.
Yeah, absolutely.
Boys
100%.
have to be boys.
Yes.
yeah, I think there needs to be some suggestions for what new progress means.
But I'm glad that sparked something, the trans thing, Sam. That's impressive to me.
What?
That you would be willing to go out on it, for a trans, that you might take a Saturday off to go
Of
to
course.
a pro-trans
I mean,
demo.
I live in a queer area. Like, I have many trans friends.
See, that picking ICE is really, I think that's my premier issue, picking people up off the streets. I think that's the thing of everything. That is the thing that I am most outraged by, that they kidnap people. I mean, it is literally kidnapping what they're doing. Legal kidnapping. It's illegal kidnapping, but they're not being punished for it.
Well, we have a few more minutes left. Is there anything you'd like to say to wrap up?
People might give some thought to what is something that they would like to do to fight against something that they particularly find reprehensible these days. Like, you don't have to get it done it's not your homework for tomorrow, but it's your homework for like within the next couple of weeks.
And it's part of prep. Like,
Yes.
know what the actual situation is. Know better than you might know now what the real truth is. Think beyond just your own life to what your neighbors are going through, what other people are, where your privilege might be. Think about what bothers you the most and what you would sacrifice for.
Yes.
And
But as much as you sacrifice, you get back in satisfaction that you've done something.
yeah, for me, it's saving what we always knew was imperfect, but was a noble attempt
Yeah.
and that had never been done before.
Unimaginable, and yet it's happening.
Yeah, we're losing all that, all the things that we learned about as elementary school kids.
I mean, the justice system has never been fair, but now it's just glaringly and completely and totally unfair.
Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah, I agree. So prep yourself to see what's coming, trust your instincts, study a little more.
I would follow Bernie Sanders too, because he tells the truth.
Yeah, find people that you trust and count on. Maybe
and AOC also is pretty truthful. But Bernie's the gold standard.
He is, but he's still in the system. He's still got the word senator before his name.
But that's a miracle. I mean, that is unbelievable. That he got elected mayor of,
Yeah, a liberal Vermont town.
But he lost and then he won. By like 3 votes, and then he won. I mean, it's amazing.
It might be Bernie Sanders for the senator, but for you, it might be somebody else. Who is it?
Cynthia Nixon.
Who in your neighborhood? Who in your family? Who in history? Who was doing the real things that needed to be done, taking enormous risk? What would you?
Tom Dwayne.
I'm pretty fearless. I'll do just about anything. I mean, I am good to go. I just don't. I would do anything. I just don't want to have to be the one to like to do it. But if no one else is going to do it, I'll do it. And then I'll hand the reins over to someone else that can do it.
It needs to be this new generation, but they're not fucking doing anything.
But I'll get them out. I can.
Yeah, they're not.
Because
while you were speaking, I was like, I think you should like go to where the young people are and tell them what you did and how to organize.
Okay. I'll do that.
Set that up.
By the way, so
which is what this book is.
We did 2 shows on Barashi, which everyone said was impossible and will never win. But this destroying NYCHA housing thing, I happen to have passed a law, insider, that said that you couldn't sell NYCHA development to a private developer, and we're winning that court case. And I'm not in office anymore, so you don't have to have a title. You just have to be willing to do the hard work of organizing and making it possible for other people to join in with you.
That's right. And you can't do everything. So pick your thing that matters most to you. Be ready to respond. And the action cures fear, and service cures hopelessness.
And by the way, in my early days, smoking pot as a group was very helpful. We would have steering committee meetings. We smoke pot. Then we'd go out and put flyers up on lampposts.
You heard it here. Drugs are good.
No, pot, I mean, you don't want people getting shit-faced on booze, but a little pot, goes a long way.
Well,
not that gets you tired kind, the zip you up kind.
Thank you all for joining us. We are going to be coming to you regularly with this new prescription of prep, help, hope, and we want to together save the world.
And we should also talk about the other kind of prep sometime too.
We could just very well do that.
Prep for gays. The gays want prep. What do they want? Prep. When do they want it? Now.
See you all next week.
Thank you very much, Professor.
Thank you, Senator.
This has been You Don't Say, conversations with the loquacious Mr. Duane, featuring former New York State Senator Thomas Duane and former Professor Blake Newhem Valenzuela. We are produced by Sound Small at PNT Network on Orchard Street. Associate producers are Neil Patrick Connolly, Angel Newhem Valenzuela, and Charles Sanchez. Music by Notice. We are sponsored by Tom Duane Strategies and the Ghost of the Future, with the support of the Gay Officers Action League, a fraternal organization of the NYPD, Immigration Equality New York, and the Victory Fund, as well as our sister television media, The Recruiters, streaming worldwide on Manhattan Neighborhood Network.